Greetings fellow Highlanders, I'm Chevalier and I bid you welcome to the next situation and guide of Scotland. Scotland is a medium level nation to play as. They are bordered by England and they are the easy target for England, who has maybe let's say 2.5 more troops than they have, so basically 200% of what they have, so they should be easily squashed if England tries to kill Scotland. But as you can see here, they have a guarantee with France, so they basically can survive alone for some time until they can build up some alliances, anything of that sort. Now let's go into economy and see how you can maximize the cash output. If you look at here, you are really stuck with this revenues here. If you actually only send this box here to protect trade in the North Sea trade node, you're gonna get a little bit more cash from the North Sea trade node, but not that much. If you go here, you see you have another fort as well, which you're gonna mothball, but technically if you're at war, you're gonna basically be over the limit with ducats. So it's really bad for you to have this small amount of ducats. You can attack some of the Irish nations miners and take some of their cash. That will help you get some stuff up. But for the advisors and the, let's say, trade here, you're not going to be able to gain that much cash. We're going to collect here for an advisor as well for trade with the merchant, and with the merchant we're going to try to collect from Lubeck as well. This is going to give us a little bit more cash. Another option is to send your trade fleet to the English Channel trade node and try to take some cash from there as well. Depends on your luck as well. Now that is all for cash. At the start you'll have 2.63 ducats. That is not that great. Maybe 3 ducats from the extra trade that you're gonna get from the trade nodes there, but still you're not that well put off with cash. At most, I recommend taking just one advisor, but I'll talk about advisor soon. Let's go to estates. As you can see here, the clergy does not have that much control. You're gonna have to give them control over some lands. My recommendation is to basically give them Abershine. They are the smallest province here that have the highest admin. So just give this to the clergy. Let's see, you'll go to 1496. Which is quite unfortunate. Right, so you'll probably need to give them somebody else. I guess our share will do as well. It will go up to 70%. Again, at the same time, you can actually wait and give them lands from the Irish nation, but it's up to you how you pull it off. I'm just gonna give them our share. You can also give them Abershine and just spend some admin points, though it's not recommended to spend points early on. So the clergy now has 45 and he has 67, so that's fine. You will need to seek support of the clergy. At this point in time, you'll need to get a theologian. That is getting engaged to 60. That is going to administrate to the Pope. So I'll be this, administrate to the Pope and the Inquisitor, and it's gonna get you to 80, 80.5. Although you're gonna suffer the disaster here, it's fine, because once you get lands from the Irish miners, you're gonna be able to lower this to some degree. It's gonna go down, and you're just gonna demand admin support. When this goes down to 60, you're gonna demand admin support. As for the burghers, you're not gonna be able to get the burghers up to the high limit, basically. Right? Yeah. Only option that I can see you can pull off is to give them some land, for example, to the burghers as well. So you're gonna give, let's say, this to the burghers. They're gonna go to 36. Then you're gonna grab monopoly charters. Then you're gonna recruit the Grand Army and you're gonna recruit the minister. It's gonna get you to 81. Same stuff as this side. Wait for this to go down, then actually take the admin points. Although if you do not plan on making any, what's it called, any development, you should probably just go for this and just demand diplomatic support right away. It's up to you how you want to pull it off, though this is gonna go, what the fuck? That's strange. Doesn't really matter. Well, next month is gonna be a clearer. As for the nobility, here is the problem. They have 56%, So you really have to choose what do you pick and what do you get. At this point in time, you might want to just cut the generalship and let this go to 76, or you can pull something of this line here, recruit a minister, and call it that. It can again get you to 81, but this means that you're gonna demand 150 military points, and that'll allow you. And once you take lands from the Irish miners, the overall influence is gonna go down, so you're gonna be fine. So this can be time you can grant regional, you can demand military support here, or it's gonna be perfect. Here as well, demand military support when it's down to 60. You don't want to lose these modifiers here. Yeah, same is valid for all of these modifiers. Depends how much do you want those points. For example, you want military points really fast, and the maintenance cost, it's okay. You're just gonna make what, 10 DAC 18, 0.8, 1.8 or 1.8 targets, 0.8, 0.2 basically. And if you do this, you're gonna make what, 0.4, let's say. 0.4 targets. So again, it's decent, but still. Now let's go to court. Now you have a 322. It's really crap. Unfortunately, he's 25. He has illegitimacy, so you'll be able to gain some legitimacy early on if you take some royal marriages and anything of that sort. So you're gonna be fine there. Now, recommendations here depends on the ideas that you take and what you want to focus. If you want to go for the standard, just focus admin points, and we'll talk about the rest on ideas. As for advisors here, you are really strapped for cash to the point where I would say that you only need to take one advisor, and that will be the inflation reduction guy here. That will be all. It's an admin point. Admin advisor gonna be able to get more points on admin. That's gonna be good as well, and you're gonna be stuck with 1.07 targets. So again, you're gonna be really strapped for cash. If you are not that good of a player, I just recommend going for a discipline guy here, or a moral of armies guy as well, or for just a simple iron points guy here. Inflation is good, tax base is good as well. The rest, maybe national rest is decent as well. It will help you keep the lands in Ireland for yourself. Now, government type, you're a kingdom. You have national manpower modifier and come from vassals, nothing more. Culture wise, you accept the Scottish and Highlander culture, pretty much standard stuff, nothing much more to say here. For diplomacy, immediate enemies and rivals, Denmark, England. I mean, only two options, only two guys that you can rival. From England you want to take these lands here, and take some lands from Norway as well, so you can move into Sweden, Norway and Sweden, Denmark to move into this side, and take Iceland from here as well, basically. So you can actually move into the new world faster. We'll talk about how you should move into the new world later on. As for allies, France, Castile, Burgundy, anything that rival England is your prime target for an alliance. For example, at this point in time, I think that you can actually both ally Aragon and France. You can ally both Aragon and France, and you can you rival Denmark, unfortunately. So you can ally England, you can ally France and Aragon, you can ally Castile and France as well. So again, alliance is doable. You just need to get a royal marriage with these guys here. Alright, so if you get a royal marriage, there will be no issues. Although, yeah, minus 29 here, minus 14 here, so an alliance with both Aragon and France is doable. Although you'll not be able to call in, you're not going to be able to call in Aragon against England. It's mostly going to be a defensive alliance. So you should probably seek some other type of alliance against England rather than just wasting a slot in Aragon for defensive. Having an alliance with France is gonna be enough of a defensive against England. Although England might actually ally Austria, and that will create some friction and some problems. So try to check out England's allies as well and see who is more troublesome. If she has troublesome allies, you should seek out more powerful allies on your own. But yeah, this is about the diplomacy. Nothing much more to say. It's just in combat-wise and expansion-wise, it's just like this, and like this. I mean, you're gonna be stuck in here for quite a while. We'll talk about what you should take and how you should maximize some stuff, but this will go for the later parts. Now, economy, we talked about economy. Trade, talked about trade. We have technology, Western. The institutions are gonna spread quite slowly over to the end of Europe, so try to be in for the long war against the penalty. It's gonna happen. Try to maximize your tech before the penalty hits, and then try to use some points for something else. For example, grasslands, farmlands, grasslands. So you can, to some degree, improve lands here, especially in your capital. You can spare some points here to improve, especially if you actually save this modifier here for the trade, what's it called? The development cost. As 10% you'll be able to develop more lands cheaper in your capital, and that is gonna be the main hub for you to spend points. This is also be able to help you get the state faster again, so the things of that sort. Now, as for techs here, take admin tech whenever possible. Try to use the modifiers for ahead of time here as well. Try to get to tech 5 for the idea. For the diplomacy, save points. As many points as possible for the new idea if you want to go for admin ideas. As for military technology, just basically take it when you want to go to war, otherwise, or you feel threatened. Otherwise, just use the modifiers to your own benefit. And that is it on technology. Nothing much more to say than the standard. Now for the Scottish ideas, which I really like, you have the land force libido modifier plus 30%, land leader shock plus 1%, plus 1. So these ideas are excellent for early game. Land force together with land leader shock, it's really huge. It's gonna be really powerful. You have nothing to fear basically. You're gonna be a god among men. You're not a god among men, but still quite early potential to kill. Like kill. Nothing much more to say here. You have the echelon rest -1, decent, the modifier, but the status -1 is not that great. I would love to have -2. Ship cost, useless. National manpower, great. You have the stability cost modifier, crap. You have the tax modifier, decent, although I would have loved the higher modifier, maybe 15 or 20%. Legitimacy is quite crap, you have no use for it. Then you have the aggressive expansion impact -50%, which is quite good, although it comes quite late in the game once you get your third idea at max. But that will help you expand into France, Castile, these guys here, Muscovy, Lithuania, Poland, at a cheaper cost, which is, I guess, decent. So you're still gonna be able to use this to some advantage. At the max, you have land maintenance modifier -50%, which is quite nice. You're really gonna be able to do a lot of troops, basically build a lot of troops with this modifier with these ideas. So you have the force limit, you have the manpower, and you have the land maintenance modifier. It's gonna be really great if you want to build tons of troops, and really it's gonna be quite huge. Now for ideas, here where is becoming quite tricky, if I say so myself. Currently you have 1.7k maximum manpower, which is decent. Once you get some more lands here, it's gonna increase. But there are two ways you can go about this. The first one, exploration, wait for you to expand and go to a new world. This is really gonna waste your exploration slot. I mean, that is my honest opinion. It's really gonna waste your exploration slot, your first slot, so it's not that great. At the same time, you can go for influence, but again, I do not recommend it. These things are not great. What I would really like for you to do, go for military idea. I mean, as you've seen in my Irish campaign here, military idea is quite good. I don't recommend quantity. You are, let's say, almost at the mid-level style, so I do recommend getting offensive. Clearly the shock is really gonna be exceptionally well. Like it's gonna stack really well, and you're gonna be able to get a huge amount of a guy which has a huge amount of shock value, which is gonna be really great. And overall, the modifiers are really good. Although, again, quality is decent as well, but you get a shock modifier, you get the siege ability, you get the land force limit, you get the discipline, and you get the recover morale speed. While on quality, you get the infantry, the attrition, the cav, the ship, the morale of navy attrition, artillery compatibility, and discipline. Overall, offensive is gonna give you the land force limit modifiers, and you're gonna be able to build more troops, and that is better than having quality ideas. Although I would rate them at the same level, but still go for offensive. They are a little bit better because you have the early shock while you have the combat ability here, and the early shock would be better in the early phases of the game rather than the infantry combat ability. Now, the second idea should be exploration, followed by expansion, followed by influence, or followed by diplomatic. I would truly recommend influence rather than diplomatic because you have the stacking of the aggressive expansion impact, and that is really going to help you. So my best options for you is offensive, followed by exploration, followed by expansion, followed by influence, followed by another military idea, or admin idea for admin ideas basically. So I repeat again: offensive, exploration, expansion, influence, admin, military, or influence, military, admin ideas. It's up to you how you want to do it. This is the best option. The standard option would be for you to just go influence, admin, exploration. So influence, admin, exploration, military idea. That will be the standard for the second option here, which is a little bit more stable. It's going to allow you to become an HRE Emperor faster due to the diplomatic reputation, the extra diplomatic relation slot, but it's not really going to help you expand into England that fast. And this is all for ideas. If you want to go for a military idea first, you'll have to basically do this and switch. Instead of going for the focus on admin, go for focus on military. If you want to go for the second idea, which you want to get the influence ideas, go for the one where you put the national focus on admin. And this is it on the ideas. Let's go to missions and decisions. Pretty much, if you have the advanced the frontier mission, then you're gonna get claims on this lands here. Pretty much standard stuff. Other than this, there are some missions to reclaim to take Orkney from Norway, and at the same time to regain lands if you lost them from England. Other than this, there are not that many flavor missions. There are some Scottish events here. They basically revolve against the aggressive expansion of England and the Renaissance, basically the Reformation. And that's about it. There are some cardinals, there are some advisors, nothing much that it's worth talking about, or anything of the magnitude of the Burgundian Hades event, or the Iberian wedding, or anything of that sort. Just small flavor events. Other than this, you can form the British military. Basically, if you have Tech 10, you own London, Oxfordshire, Hampshire, Lothian, etc. And if you own diplomatically, if you have vassalage over it, England is a subject of yours, and you have Tech 10. So all of this have to be true. Basically, England has to be ruled by governed by the rule of England. England has to be governed by the rule of Scotland, where England is a vassal of Scotland, and they have to have less than 38 cities, and it's gonna be done instantly. Now, my recommendation is to at some point in time vassalize England and keep on feeding them lands from France. Then you can actually save some points or integration, because when you have Tech 10, it's gonna be done instantly. and it's gonna save you some points. We'll talk about this in the expansion guide. Now, stability expansion is standard stuff, where exhaustion reduce when you feel necessary, boost ability 1 when wherever you can when you have the modifiers. For the expansion here, I truly recommend going for the citadel increase and just shuttle some troops and kill some natives there. You're not gonna own those lands; they're gonna become part of the colonial nations, and you do not care about them that much. So just go for the native repression policy. You need to expand really fast and really stable into these lands here, into the new world, and you should be really careful. As for the route expansion, once you take Iceland, you're gonna be able to move here with exploration ideas and move here as well. Yeah, or from Ireland, but you need tech 7 to move to this lands here or Bermuda. But remember, you need tech 7 to be able to pull this off, which you should probably have by the time you get to Ireland or you take lands from Norway. This is all for religion here. You cannot play the Kuyak game. You do not have a cardinal. If you take London from England, you're gonna have a cardinal. The Reformation is gonna hit at some point in time, so you should be try to be really careful of that as well. Whether you want to switch to Protestant or not, it's up to you. But if you want to switch, do it really early, simply because you want to get the center of reformation in your lands as soon as possible, and try to do it before the so the Protestant hits. Then you have to do it before the Reform hits as well. Basically, the other guys with the silver. What the fuck, man? Let me check it. Oh, it doesn't appear yet. Sorry, so it hasn't appeared. But yeah, try to do it once the Protestant hits, so you can get a center of reformation in your capital, and you're gonna be able to spawn your religion really fast over all of these places. Now, this is all on religion. Your Catholic, pretty much standard stuff. Nothing much more to say here. Now, for military, you have a force limit of 18, and you currently have 13 troops, which are what you have 10 infantry and 3 cav. If you want to maximize your force limit, which I do not recommend doing right now because you're gonna waste your cash, just go for 12-6, 12 infantry, 6 cav. That's gonna allow you to have the maximum damage output. As for your current leader, make him into a general. You're gonna have a shitty guy, but not much more to say there. If you want, he could have actually taken this, grant a generalship, but you wanted to maximize the military points, so it wasn't possible. So you're gonna be stuck with crappy guys until you either do this to get a military guy, but again, you don't have the tradition here, so it's not recommended that well. As for this guy, the admiral here, just send him with your trade fleet, make him die. You already have a slot, so there's no problems there. As for your naval force limit, it's 18 out of 21. It's recommended that you do this on the burghers and have ships for war when you have enough ports, so you'll be able to fight against France, Castile, anything that stands in your way. By the 1500s, you should be able to do this. By the 1550s, you should be able to do this twice, I think, which is gonna get you at 15 carracks for no cost. So yeah, you won't need to build carracks. Maybe if you have some events for carracks, that will be fine, but you don't need to build any carracks. Other than this, nothing much more to say. The forts that are in the British Islands, I recommend killing them and relying on your fleet, and just keep them until you have a fleet ready to fight them off. For conquest, we're gonna go in the next episode. These guys are really pretty easy to kill. As for these guys here in England, it's doable. They just need to be in trouble, and you're gonna be able to kill them. But yeah, I'm Chevalier. Hope you enjoyed this. If you enjoyed this, guys, consider liking, subscribing, and commenting. Any feedback is appreciated. It is the end of the initial situation of Scotland. The part 1 of the initial situation is gonna end. Part 2 is gonna be the guide. We're gonna talk about how you should expand Scotland and what are the priority targets that you should expand to. I'm Chevalier, hope to enjoy this, and I'll see you next time, guys. Ciao.